Hello everyone and welcome to Abundantly Minimal. My name is Sarah and today I have some easy, lazy minimalist hacks that you can implement in your life. Some people make minimalism and decluttering more complicated than it needs to be, and I want to encourage you to keep it simple because simple things are easier to maintain and achieve the results that you want. So let's jump right in. The first lazy minimalist hack is to start small. Start with 10 minutes a day. That is all you really need to see long-term effects. Sometimes people think they have to go all in and overhaul their entire space in a very short period of time, but I have found smaller steps leads to more sustainable change. So set that timer, tidy up your space for 10 minutes. At first, this might more so be general putting things away and cleaning, but after you have been doing it longer, not only will your space just start to feel better overall, also you'll find that you have more desire to tackle different individual projects. That leads me to minimal hack number 2, and that is to set micro goals. If you think, oh, I want to declutter my kitchen, that's too big. What parts of that do you want to declutter? We need to pick very specific, small, actionable spaces. So let's say you do want to do a lot of work in your kitchen. One of your micro goals, one of your tidy session tasks could be to go through your utensil organizer or pick one cabinet. It doesn't have to be much. When we really intentionally limit, we are much more likely to succeed. It's much better to stack up quick wins rather than feel like you took on too big of a project and didn't make any progress. Lazy minimalist hack number 3 is to make decluttering more comfortable. Unfortunately, where a lot of our clutter tends to hang out are some of our less desirable spaces. The basement, back of closets, really some places that are a lot less accessible and less pleasant to be around. So if you've set your micro goal, let's say there's a box that you want to take care of in the basement, bring that box up to a much more comfortable part of your home, relax, put on some good music if you want, or some other entertainment if you like, get yourself a coffee, tea, or other beverage that you enjoy, and jump right in. The comfort of the space will make it much more pleasant than if you were spending extended periods of time down in that area where you don't enjoy it as much. Our next tip is to donate, not sell. There are so many items that we might think, oh, I paid a lot of money for this. I don't just want to donate it. Maybe I can recoup some of that value. Here's the thing though. When you're thinking about selling, it's tough to remember how much work goes into selling. I sold a bunch of my old clutter back several years ago and recently listed a few things, but I forgot how awful it is. And I actually canceled a lot of my listings because it just wasn't worth the effort. If you are planning on selling something, here is the work that you must do. You must figure out where you will sell it. You must photograph and list the item or bring it to wherever it needs to go. If someone buys it, you must pack the order up. You must go to the post office. You must ship it. I guess I should also say there's costs involved in packing it up as well. And all that to say, that's if something actually sells. A lot of time you're doing that work and you're not able to get a buyer, or the buyer is not willing to pay the price that you have, and so then there's negotiation. Let's also not forget that many of these platforms like eBay take a commission. So you might put all that effort in only to receive a fraction of what you thought it was worth. And it can also take a lot of mental load and stress to manage, researching these items to figure out how much they cost, thinking about it in the back of your head like, oh, I still need to sell those. I need to list those on whatever platform. All of this labor adds up to wasted time, maybe increased stress, and for what at the end of the day? So if you are thinking that you're going to sell a bunch of your items, I think a reality check is good. Is it actually worth your time? For certain higher end items, I'm sure, but if you're someone like me and you're not into luxury brands and, really expensive, fancy stuff, it's probably not really worth your time, and you can just take it to a donation center and be done with it. So definitely consider sticking with donating instead of selling for most items. That being said, do not donate garbage or trash that really no one would actually buy. I think, unfortunately, some people just think, oh yeah, donate everything without filtering through anything, but there is some stuff that shouldn't be donated. And if it's not something that someone would actually pay money for, or if it's not a certain organization collecting a type of item regardless of quality, it might just make sense to throw it away. That can save you time, but also it saves someone else time who is sorting through donations and preparing things, at whatever charity shop or thrift shop that you might be donating to. Don't donate garbage. This might seem kind of obvious to say, but I do think there can be some gray area with certain types of items that feel like they shouldn't be thrown away, but realistically no one would ever pay money for, and it's not like they're specifically requesting it. Charity shops and thrift shops are so overloaded anyway with so many items that are actually functional. We can make life easier for all parties and just make peace with getting rid of something, throwing it away. Disposing of it, obviously this is not the preference, but it is important to acknowledge and be realistic what things are, and sometimes that's just the best approach. Another lazy minimalism hack is to have a donation bin set up in your home, some container where you can easily and effortlessly put the items you're planning on donating. This allows you to batch your donations and have them ready to go ahead of time, while also preventing piles from building up in random places. As you live your life, just put any items in there that you realize you don't need in that donation bin, and once it gets full, go ahead and take it into your local donation shop. Lazy minimalist hack number 7 is to delay shopping. You might feel like you have a list of things that you need to go buy, but just wait. It doesn't hurt to wait a little longer. We do this ourselves with grocery shopping a lot of the time. You might think that you have to go get something, but really you can continue working through stuff that you already have. And the same is true with a lot of different types of items we might be considering purchasing. Do you really need that new shampoo and conditioner, or can you use up more of what you already have? This is also a great way to prevent impulse purchases if you're buying something too quickly without adequate time to reflect. Is it necessary? A great consideration would be to maybe add something to your cart if you're shopping online and save it for later, so you aren't thinking about it now and you're not actually going through that purchase without being able to reflect to see if it makes actual sense long term once that impulse has passed. Lazy minimalist hack number 8 is to unsubscribe while you wait. If you find yourself waiting for something and you are on your phone scrolling through a favorite social media app, maybe instead use that time to tackle digital clutter while you wait. So go through your email and unsubscribe from promotional messages, especially if you are getting them from maybe an order you placed and you just don't need that temptation in your life, or quite frankly, you don't plan on purchasing from them again. Unsubscribe. It will be at the very bottom of the email list. Also, you could go through and delete extra photos that you have that you don't need anymore, delete apps that you're not using, basically using this wasted time while you wait to maintain and improve your digital organization. These are great moments to tackle it because you're not actively doing something else, and then you free up that extra brain power and email clutter that you don't have to deal with later on when you're actually living your life in more exciting ways. The next tip is to make it social. While decluttering is something that can be done alone, I think we might be more successful when involving others. And this can look like a couple different things. First of all, just because you maybe are motivated in this doesn't mean that you have to be the only one who's working on these things. I think sometimes we might be motivated to take on more than we really need to or should, and try to do things for other people, but it's really good for them to do it for themselves. So maybe there's a decluttering goal you set with others in your household and everyone's trying to meet those different things. Or maybe you are texting pictures of items you plan on decluttering or going through old sentimental items and you send a text to other family members. I know that's something that happens a lot with my mom and my sister and I. If there's something that my mom's going through, she will send a quick text to see if we want the item. Usually it's no. And then you can move forward quickly. You don't have to just wonder, should I keep this? Would someone be mad if I let go of it? You don't even have to waste any time on that. Just take action. What's also nice about this is if maybe you want to let go of something but someone else wants to keep it, I think then you have the option to put the onus and labor and maintenance on them. So saying, hey, if you want this item, that's fine. You can have it, but guess what? I'm no longer storing it for you. I'm no longer cleaning it and maintaining it for you. It's on you now. And then suddenly now that shifts the work responsibility. You've got something off of your plate and something out of your main space, and now they're responsible. So I think it's important to make sure too that you're not shouldering all of the weight of these possessions. And the last lazy minimalist hack is when in doubt, choose less. less stuff, less on the calendar, less keeping up with expectations of what is necessary versus what is realistic to you and your family, less shopping, less social media, less blindly following traditions that don't actually add any value. In life, there are so many ways we complicate things, or we buy things or act in ways that we feel like are expected of us, but aren't actually true to what we want. And I know I have found it incredibly refreshing over the years to consistently remove both physical belongings, but also these expectations about how I should act or what I should do. And it is liberating when you feel like you don't have to be chained by the societal expectations or different habits and traditions that someone else made a choice about. Once you truly let go of that, life is so much more pleasant and comfortable. And I definitely encourage you to reflect about how can you choose less when it is beneficial for you to do so, whether that's clutter or even beyond that. So I hope these tips are helpful. You really can accomplish a lot without as much work, especially when we keep it simple. So I will put a few of my other videos here if you're interested. And if you're new around here, feel free to subscribe to the channel. I'll see you next time. Bye.